First, we'll do a call to order and roll call.
Mayor Jennings, Vice Mayor Shirley,
Here.
Commissioner Angel,
Here.
Commissioner Crawford,
Here.
Commissioner Householder.
Here.
Okay, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go ahead and start off with our citizen forum. If there's anyone out in the audience that'd like to come up to the commissioners with any concerns, questions? No? There are no awards or proclamations, so we'll move on to public hearings and items scheduled for a certain time.
Item 5.1, public hearing and report on the application for property tax exemption submitted by Salina Vortex Corp. Sub-item 5.1A, first, or resolution number 136991.
Mr. Andrew.
Vice Mayor Shirley and Commissioners, this is a public hearing to consider the granting of a property tax exemption for Salina Vortex Corporation. And we have up there on the screen for you their location. They are located at the northwest corner of Waterwell Road and Centennial Road. And the company was founded in 1977 and originally was located in a smaller facility on Arnold Road. And then in 2005, plans were developed in cooperation with the Salina Economic Development Corporation and Salina Airport Authority to construct a new facility. And the property and facility, while it was under construction, was originally owned by Salina Economic Development Corporation, which is a not-for-profit entity, and so it wasn't until ownership was transferred to Salina Vortex that they submitted an application for a property tax exemption in January of 2007. And at a public hearing, the City Commission approved a resolution granting them a 10-year exemption on the new facility. And they finalized that in July of 2007, and the result was a 100% tax exemption years 1 through 5, and a reducing to 50% in years 6 through 10. That current exemption, which is on their current facility, expires in 2016. As you can see, they projected in their application creation of 3 net new jobs, and they actually created 25 during the project period, which allowed them to obtain a 100% exemption. They are now coming back to you with a new application, and the abatement is specifically for a addition that would consist of 2 aspects. There's a color plan in your packets. It's not real easy to see, but it consists of 2 components. There's a production space area of an additional 48,000 square feet, and then 16,000 square feet of additional office space on the south end there. And when this is all complete, we'd have about 190,000 square feet under roof. In their application, they are projecting or estimating the initial creation of 7 new jobs. We also noted there that under the state's enterprise zone program, they would also be eligible for benefits, which would include a sales tax exemption on building materials and equipment, and the City of Salina has a 50% building permit fee rebate for manufacturers who qualify for enterprise zone benefits. We pointed out in the report that this is one of the few areas inside the City of Salina that's part of the Southeast of Saline School District. And so the primary taxing entities here are the City of Salina, Saline County, and USD 306. Part of the purpose of this hearing is to notify Saline County and USD 306 of the requested exemption, and they have been notified of the request in today's hearing. With the assistance of Beth Shelton at the Salina Chamber of Commerce, there were 2 cost-benefit analysis done using 2 different softwares, and the result was a finding of a net benefit to the community based on the impacts to the taxing entities. And so under the city's formula, with the investment of $3.6 million and the estimated creation of 7 new jobs, they would qualify for a 75% exemption years 1 through 5 and a 50% reduction to that in years 6 through 10. We did want to emphasize, and it's indicated in your report there, the actual exemption they receive will depend on what they actually expend and the number of jobs created. So at the conclusion of the project, they would file a project completion report documenting their expenditures and the number of jobs created. And I think I told Mr. Thompson that if they were to create 17 jobs instead of 7, they would qualify for a 100% exemption. So for the purposes of the exemption, it would apply just to these additions here. The county appraiser would break those out separately. So in 2016, the exemption would expire on this, and this portion would pay its full share of property taxes, and then just this portion would be under the exemption. So I want to thank Jeff Thompson with Salina Vortex for assistance with putting this application together, and Beth Shelton over at the Chamber of Commerce for her assistance. It was a collaborative effort to put this package together for your consideration. So with that, I'd answer any questions you have, or we do have representatives Salina Vortex here if you'd like to ask about their business plans.
When would these new jobs be created? What was the estimated time on the job creation?
Under the program guidelines, they can count jobs that are created within the 18-month window. So they have an 18-month window to complete construction of their project and to create however many jobs occur within that window. So in the case of 2007, they had their resolution granting their exemption in January, and they were complete and filed their report in July. They would have an 18-month period from today to complete their expenditures, the building, and any hiring associated with that, and then any jobs created after that do not affect the percentage of exemption.
And what if nothing happens within those 18 months?
Then we would come back and report to you that we were unable to, they did not meet the criteria set out in the resolution.
And those new jobs wouldn't mean layoffs for other people, correct?
Correct. They, there was one case of a business that got a slow start and did nothing within 18 months, and the City Commission granted them a new 18-month window. But if they simply didn't do this project, they would not be eligible for any exemption. And if they hire no new individuals, then they would not be eligible for an exemption.
Thank you.
When was this policy created?
1991.
It's been in place all that time.
Any other questions from commissioners?
Said we have Lee Young and Jeff Thompson here from Salina Vortex if you have questions about their business.
Okay. Would you like to approach us and just fill us in on anything? Introduction's always nice.
Lee Young, Chairman, Vortex Corporation. First, I'd like to thank the city staff for all the effort they went to in helping us prepare this proposal. And they did a lot of work, and I do appreciate that. And certainly all the support we got from the chamber. And so I'm here to answer any questions. And Jeff Thompson's here also to answer any questions when it comes to the numbers. So
Well, not so
ask
much
any questions you'd like about our business and how we do it and what our challenges are. Try to answer them.
Okay, actually, for the people at home, if you can just let them know what Vortex is and what kind of business it is, what you provide, because I don't think a lot of people in Salina do know what you do out there.
We can do that, or I can do that. We manufacture industrial valves for handling dry bulk solids, and that's anything from your breakfast cereal through plastic pellets, all the way to minerals and mining, to frac sand for extracting oil from the earth. So anything that's a dry solid, we handle, from, like I said, bare aspirin all the way to coal. So, and all the associated equipment that goes along with doing that. So,
Yeah, I've actually taken a tour out there. Maybe when y'all, maybe 3 or 4 years ago or something. It's pretty impressive. You got a lot of the laser cutters and the whole
Right.
manufacturing process out there. It's pretty cool, and it's a nice facility too. Good looking building, and which we obviously like, and helps our community, and
Well, thank
it's
you.
well kept. And I'm sure this new project will equally be as impressive. So.
there's I know that I'd like to share some of the numbers as far as employees hired from our last expansion. Is that we've actually hired 66 people total as a result of this expansion here, from where we were when we started the project. So again, we're only allowed an 18-month period to hire all the people that's associated with the tax deduction. So obviously, over the 7 years that we've occupied this building, at this point, we've hired 66 people.
And those are permanent employees?
Pardon?
Those are permanent employees?
Permanent
Oh.
employees,
Wow.
yes, they're full-time. Full-time.
Any other questions for? No? Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from anyone in the audience? Okay, bring it back to the commission for action.
Mayor, I move the commission adopt Resolution 13-6991.
Second?
All those in favor of adopting resolution number 136991, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right. Moving on to consent agenda.
Item 6.1, approve the minutes of March 11, 2013. Item 6.2, award of contract for the Salina Municipal Golf Course sanitary sewer service line to 4C Plumbing LLC in the amount of $18,242 with a 5.5 construction contingency. Item 6.3, award of contract for the 2013 through 2015 Utilities Department mowing services to Gill's Lawn Service.
Is there any items that the commissioners would like to remove or have questions about?
I do have a question. Is Gil an employee of the city? And if he is, does that make a difference?
No, he is not. He was 1 or 2 years ago,
Yeah,
but he's
that's
not
what I
now.
thought.
I'm amazed at these bids, kind of. Just because $21,659. Gil works cheap. However, Kugler of Solomon does not work cheap. Was there some differences in these at all, or I mean?
Well, we looked at, this is a 3-year contract, so we were concerned that possibly they bid all 3 years, and we've confirmed that not to be true. That is a bid for a single year.
Oh, that was a single year.
Yes. We had that same question.
Wow. Or if Gil does residential, maybe I'll hire. No, I'm
We actually checked several commercial
Yeah.
companies that he mows for just to ensure that
sure.
he could do a good job for us, and everyone gave us a good report.
The guy wants the business. He knows how to get it. Cheap is always good.
Vice Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
All right, moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No development business. We'll move on to administration.
Item 8.1, second reading ordinance number 10,683, vacating a platted 10-foot utility easement along the north side of Lot 12, Block 2 of the Grand Prairie Addition. Sub-item 8.1A, acceptance of a permanent sanitary sewer line easement for a specific use along the north side of Lot 2, Block 2 of the Grand Prairie Addition.
Mr. Stagg.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Last week we had a reading of the ordinance, the first reading of the ordinance vacating the utility easement. And then this week we would need to accept the new type of easement basically for the same general area. And with the construction bids that were approved in the last consent motion, we can get started and get this done before golf season picks up too heavily. That is the hope anyway. Any other
That would be the
questions?
goal. Any questions for staff?
No.
Thank you.
Bring it back to the commissioners for action.
Mayor, I move that we approve on second reading ordinance 13-10683.
Second?
Do I do a roll call on this one? Or is this a, okay.
Yep.
All right. If you can go ahead and call the roll, please.
Commissioner Angel?
Aye.
Commissioner Crawford?
Aye.
Commissioner Householder?
Aye.
Mayor Shirley?
Aye.
Vice Mayor, I move that the commission accept the permanent sanitary sewer line easement for specific use along the north side of Lot 12, Block 2 of the Grand Prairie addition.
Second?
And can we call the roll again?
Don't need to.
No, don't need to on this one. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right.
Item 8.2, first reading ordinance number 10,682, authorizing the city manager to place traffic control devices and regulate traffic generally.
Chief Hill.
Good afternoon, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. The ordinance before you is a collaborative effort from a number of city departments to include the city attorney and city attorney's office and staff, the city prosecutor, the city engineer, and the police department. The police department was the lead agency, and Deputy Chief Carson Mansfield was the lead staff person on this proposal, so I'm going to have Carson Mansfield explain it to you.
Okay.
Well, I'll try to make it quick. If you look at the sheet, you go down to the second paragraph, it says the proposed ordinance is presented as a means of enhancing the city's ability to adapt to changing traffic conditions in a manner advisable for a city the size of Salina. And on down into the next fourth paragraph, it says it does not preclude the governing body from exercising its current authority to regulate traffic. What this is an attempt to smooth things out and make traffic enforcement hopefully a little better. You go to the academy years ago and they tell you that more injuries occur with traffic than occur with crime. So the best thing you can do to stop injuries is enforce traffic, but everybody dislikes it. Nobody likes getting a ticket. Officers get tired of giving tickets because it's the least popular thing we could. Look at the fire department. Look how popular they are. They don't write tickets. That's who we are. Well, anyway, one of the problems we've got is that if you look at, you all adopted the standard traffic ordinances. If you go in there, and you'll see that the police department directs if there's the way the roads are laned, and you all will accept different kinds of speed limits. And traffic plans this, and it's a royal mess, that's what it is. So what happens is, like in this last construction zone, we did the best we could. We sat down and tried to get it all right. Put it out there, things change, things don't go like you think they'll go. You know, the first thing that goes is the plan sometimes. And so we need to go back and change some things to make things better so we're not writing too many tickets, because I would be really happy if we didn't write any tickets. And this will give us a chance to not have to come back before you or stick with the plan when we put it together, when we made the construction plan, and we can move with the changes and hopefully shorten the zones, those kinds of things that make it better for people that have to go through those kinds of construction projects and other things that we're doing.
Mayor, I move that we change the speed limit on Magnolia to 30 miles per hour. 20 is way too slow for when I drive through there right now. Well, I can get a second on that, not even from the community? Obviously, this is makes a lot of good sense. It speeds up efficiency and just keeps us out of, I mean, it does not remove our authority to change if we see something overreaching, but allows the city manager and you all to work in a much more efficient fashion. I think that works best for the citizens and everybody involved, so.
I certainly hope so, and I'd agree.
Yeah. Do you agree on the 30 mile an hour on Magnolia? It's so
Gotta do
slow.
these things. I just have to do it.
Ah, God, it's so slow.
do.
And people are following that speed limit, I know, because I'm behind them. They're just, oh, God.
Any questions of staff or
Jog.
for our officers?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I'll bring it back to the commission for discussion.
Mayor, I move we adopt ordinance number 13-10682, authorizing the city manager to place the traffic control devices and regulate traffic generally.
Second.
Okay, had a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All right. Looks like we don't have any other business. So I move we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.